Let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever opened your mail, seen a property tax assessment notice, and thought, where did this number even come from? Because here's the part most homeowners don't realize. That number wasn't random, it wasn't pulled out of thin air, and it's definitely not always fair. In New Jersey, your property taxes are based on a system that most people never truly understand. It includes inspections, ratios, revaluations, appeals. There's a whole system involved. It all sounds complicated, and when people don't understand the rules, they usually overpay for years. Today, I'm going to break down this entire system for you from start to finish, from how your home is inspected, to how your home assessment shows up in your mailbox, to when it actually makes sense to appeal and when it doesn't. And if you're buying a home in New Jersey, this may be one of the most important videos you watch before making an offer. Because this knowledge doesn't just save you money, it changes how you negotiate. It changes how you plan, and it changes how you protect yourself long term. All right, let's get into it. Most people think a property assessment inspection is like a home inspection, except it's really not. In many towns, assessors never even enter your home. They're often doing exterior inspections from the outside. They're measuring square footage, confirming visible features, or relying on existing records without even going to the property. They're looking for things like overall size, if you have a finished basement, decks, porches, additions, garages, pools, and recent permits that were pulled on the property. And here's the key thing to understand. The assessor's job is not to determine market value. Their job is to assign assessed value based on standardized data. That difference plays a much bigger role than most people expect. If something is wrong in the property record, like they have it marked as a basement and you don't have one, or they think you have an addition that never existed, that error could follow your home for years. And most homeowners, because they never review their property record until something happens and they find out they've been overpaying for a very long time, which brings us to one of the most misunderstood parts of the New Jersey property taxes, Chapter 123. Chapter 123 sounds intimidating, but the concept is actually simple. Every town has assessments, and every town has real market values. Because assessments aren't updated every year, New Jersey uses something called an equalization ratio to bridge that gap. Here's what that means in the English version of that. If your town's ratio is 85%, that means homes are assessed at about 85% of their true market value. So when your property taxes are calculated, your assessed value is adjusted upward to reflect that difference. If the ratio is over 100%, the math can actually work the other way. This ratio plays a massive role in whether an assessment is considered fair. And yet most homeowners have never even heard of it. Every year we receive a small assessment postcard in the mail. Most people glance at it and toss it aside. That's a mistake. You should be checking the assessed value, comparing it to last year, looking at the land value versus the improvement value, and asking whether anything changed without an explanation. If your assessed value jumps and you didn't renovate, expand, or improve the home, that's a red flag that's worth checking out. Now let's talk about revaluations and reassessments, because this is where things can really swing. Revaluations don't happen randomly. They usually happen when a town's assessments drift too far from reality, when sales prices and assessed values no longer line up, and when the county or state pressures the town to fix it. And that's usually they do the whole town at one time when they're doing the revaluations. In simple terms, the town waited too long, and now everything resets at once. There's an important difference here. A revaluation is a full reset. New inspections, new values, and it's often handled by an outside company that's brought in to do the revaluation. A reassessment, on the other hand, is more of a tune-up. Adjustments without full inspections, often handled internally within the town. Revaluations tend to create bigger changes. Some homeowners see taxes go up, some see them go down, but very few stay exactly the same. If you know a revaluation is coming, there are things you should do in advance. One, you want to review your property record. You also want to confirm your square footage. You want to make sure that matches up. You want to document unfinished spaces, and you want to understand recent sales in your neighborhood. Being proactive about this here at this point can save you thousands over time. Now, let's talk about appeals. Because appealing your assessment is not about saying, my taxes are too high. Appeals are all about the data. You consider appealing when your assessed value is higher than the comparable homes in your surrounding area, when there are tons of errors on the property record, or when the ratio adjusted value exceeds what the home would reasonably sell for. And deadlines matter here, big time. In New Jersey, most towns, appeals are due every year by April 1st. In revaluation years, the deadline is often May 1st. If you miss the deadline, you have to wait a whole nother year. So you got to stay on top of that. When appealing, common mistakes include using asking prices instead of closed sales in your data that you prepare and present to the township, or comparing non-similar homes and ignoring the equalization ratio entirely. Strong appeals rely on strong evidence, recent closed sales that are similar size, similar age, same neighborhood or school district. Emotion doesn't matter in tax court. Most appeals are settled before they even go to trial. If they go further and you do have to present your evidence, the assessor responds and a judgment is issued. You could win, you could lose, or you can land somewhere in the middle, which is usually what happens. But even a modest reduction compounds year after year, so it's worth doing in a lot of instances. Property taxes in New Jersey aren't just a bill you pay. They're a system you can understand, navigate, and challenge. And homeowners who take the time to learn it are the ones who overpay less, negotiate smarter, and sleep better at night. If this was helpful, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone buying or owning in New Jersey. And if you want help reviewing an assessment, a tax card, deciding if you want to appeal your taxes, or just planning around a purchase, that's exactly what we do here. I'll see you guys in the next one.